It's here. That's right. Kanye West's Donda. I mean, listen, it dropped on God's day today, which is a Sunday, which is always a good thing, always a blessed thing. But yeah, Kanye just surprised us out of nowhere. I mean, we've been waiting for this joint to drop for months now. The anticipation has been growing by the weeks and months ever since Kanye has been having his popular, successful listening parties. Listen, there was even a rumor a couple days ago that Kanye was going to drop his album on Friday, September 3rd, which is technically supposed to be the same day Drake is supposed to drop Certified Lover Boy, his album. So everybody was going crazy just the other day on Friday, talking about, Thursday, Friday, Kanye is going to be competing with Drake. They're both going to drop their albums on the same day, only to find out, Kanye West had something else he pulled out of his bag on this Sunday, which is his brand new album, Donda. It's here. And this is my first reaction after my first time listening to the album. I'm gonna just give it to you uncut, raw, straight to the point. The album is very dope. Listen, it was definitely worth the anticipation, worth the wait. I'm not gonna even hold you. I think the album is a strong Source Magazine out of 5. If we're doing this album, 5 mics, 1 through 5. 1 being absolutely terrible, like I always say, 1 being terrible, 5 being an absolute hip hop classic, superior album, loving it. I'm giving this album off the first listen a strong 4 mics, a strong 4 out of 5. I think the album is produced very, very well. We're gonna get into some of my favorite songs on the album. The album has 26 songs on it. It's pretty much a double album here we're talking about. But the album is produced very, very well. Kanye did his thing. The production credits are vast and varied. Listen, Kanye literally has about, not including all the, producers behind the scenes, the co-producers and the associate producers, there's literally like 4 to 5 or even 6 producers on one song. So it's hard to gauge on, what Kanye actually produced himself versus what he got a little bit of help with. You know what I'm saying? But there's always been rumors about Kanye having, not only ghostwriters, a questionable pen. We all know that Kanye, doesn't write his own rhymes all the time. I mean, that's been documented from Styles P, from The Lox and Consequence. But, there was also been rumblings about Kanye West having ghost producers as well. And the case is, just check the credits. I mean, it's mad producers on the album. But not to take that away from the album and the sound, because who knows what Kanye produced by himself and what he got help with. The production is very, very well. Actually, truth be told, I like the whole album, but some of the songs that stood out to me and that really hit home with me was Off the Grid. Off the Grid features Playboi Carti and Fabio Foreign. Heaven and Hell, yes, Kanye took that song to the D right there. That pause. That was his solo joint on the album, and Kanye killed it. I love the way he came off on the song. Children go and women produce. That's that old school sample right there from years ago from the song Self-Destruction. I love how Kanye freaked that sample right there. Everybody's got to make a living. Keep My Spirit Alive. That song right there, another tough song on the album. And Keep My Spirit Alive Keep My Spirit Alive features Griselda's. You already know how we're gonna do with this one. It features the home team, Griselda, Westside Gunn, and Conway. Benny the Butcher is absent off of the song. It would have been very nice to hear Benny on the joint, but we have exceptional quick verses from Westside Gunn, and also Conway is on the track doing his thing. Very dope song. That's another one of my joints, another joint on the album that's banging. New Again, I like that one. It was just sort of like somewhat of a female joint right there, lightweight a little bit. Kanye is rapping over some heavy synthesizer, keyboard production, which came across very, very well. New Again was produced by Kanye West, Bugs the Beast, and a couple other co-producers in there, a bunch of other co-producers in there. Bugs the Beast actually did a bunch of co-production with Kanye on this album, so he's a recurrent name that you'll see in the credits as well. Tell the Vision is another one, another hot joint right there. That's the Pop Smoke solo joint. Pop Smoke takes that song to the D right there, to the pause. Pop Smoke takes that song this is solo joint by Pop Smoke on there, surprisingly. It's, it's good to hear Pop Smoke, you know what I'm saying? I was, feeling that joint right there. Pop Smoke is definitely, the song, the beat is tough. I mean, it's a heavy piano, doom, 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 heavy piano laced, beat like the producer, which is Kanye, and the other co-producers are just going crazy over, the piano keys on that joint. And Pop Smoke sounds Pop Smoke, if I can say it right, actually sounds very well over this track. I like this song. I thought it was all right. Well, Lord, I Need You. That's another banger. Kanye is rapping. It's kind of a lightweight female joint. I could kind of get the sense that he's talking about Kim K, his wife, on the track just a little bit in the beginning. So it's kind of like a little female joint too, but he's, talking about some other things on there. And the premise of the song is, Lord, that I need you. Junior is another one that I thought was hot. Now this is Junior Part 1. Kanye is on Junior Part 1, which appears on the earlier stages of the album. And then he has Junior Part 2. Now listen, Junior Part 2, which is featured towards the end of the album, features Ty Dolla $ign and Playboi Carti. Now, there's also been some chatter on social media, on Twitter, that DaBaby, he had a verse that was actually added on over the last 5 to 6 hours since this album has been out. So who knows? By the time you view this video, the arrangements and the order of the songs or the features might have been, tailored and rearranged a little bit. So I don't know if that's for 100% sure. This is all just from what I'm reading on Twitter and things of that nature. But as of right now, the song has Playboi Carti and it has Ty Dolla $ign on it. I prefer, both versions are cool, don't get me wrong, but the Junior Part 1 is dope, and also Part 2 is good too. I like that joint. And then, of course, Jesus Lord, the song that features Jay Electronica, Jesus Lord Part 1. They have Jesus Lord Part 2, which obviously features The LOX, a song that I have heavily been anticipating and heavily talked about, and everybody's been talking about. I think, that's a very dope song. It's like, probably my favorite song on the album because of the quality of the lyricism and who it features on the album, and the way the beat is just hauntingly so good. And it's like literally, like, if you listen to Jesus Lord Part 1, it's an 8-minute song. If you listen to the remix, which is Part 2, which features The LOX, it's an 11-minute song. And that's one of them songs that I could just let ride all the way through, literally, without skipping any verses. Jay Electronica had a classic verse on there. Jadakiss, Styles, and my guy Sheik had classic verses on there. Kanye did his thing on there too. So yeah, I think this is a very, very good album. It really is. It's one of Kanye West's best albums, in my personal opinion. Full disclosure, I've never been a real big Kanye dude or like that. I've liked some of his material over the years. I'm kind of like a earlier Kanye fan from the early 2000s versus some of the things that he's been coming out with over the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years. But I do feel this album is probably definitely one of his best albums in his catalog, next to his original, the classic album College Dropout, which was his first album, obviously. So you can definitely say this is one of his best albums. Is it better than College Dropout? I don't know. We comparing two different eras, two different albums right here. So of course you can't say it's better than that, because that album is cemented as the epitome of what Kanye West has been about. That, if you want to know what album describes him best, it'll be that album. That's the go-to album, the College Dropout. Nothing is ever competing or beating that album. Let's be clear. Although I think this is one of his best albums, I can't say it's better than that album. It's sort of like you can compare it to, let's say, this is a totally different, topic, but if we're comparing the rapper Nas, if we want to say what album that Nas comes out with in 2021, or, comparing it to Nas's first album, which was a hip hop classic, it's really hard to do that. But back to Kanye, it's really hard to do that in the case of Kanye West, because this album, and if there was one negative drawback that I would say this album has, is that the features on the album. This album has massive amounts of features, both production wise and both, lyrically on the song. So it's kind of, this album is kind of like a compilation album, truth be told. You can't really say it's solely a Kanye West album because it's heavy on the features. And so that's like the one negative thing that I'm taking from this album, and why, I think this album would not necessarily be considered, in my opinion, a classic, because there's so many cooks in the kitchen on this album, production wise and on the songs. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to have a dope compilation album. Dr. Dre has done it. DJ Khaled does it. But, this album is kind of like, it's like a who's who of who's hot in the game right now. So, I mean, if you want to nitpick and say, if you want to take something negative and nitpick about the album, that's like maybe the only thing that I would say would probably be a detriment to the album, is all the features. But the features are mostly dope, and Kanye, does do his thing, and he does shine when he's, has his chance up at the mic and he does his thing. And so, yeah, I mean, listen, it's a real good album. I don't have too much negative to say about the album. It's definitely, like I said, it's a 4 out of 5. So definitely go check it out. I think it's dope. So let me know what y'all think, of course, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this Kanye West Donda album. And it just came out a couple hours ago, so this is a first reaction. And who knows, as the weeks and months go by, or the weeks go by, I might, think this album is better, So, but right now I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a very good album. It's one of Kanye's best albums. Seriously, it's like right after the College Dropout, and some of his earlier work is right up there, and the message, positive, dope messages on this album throughout on every song. So you can't argue with that. It's AP, and this is The Spot. I'm always here on The Spot, and I'll check y'all later. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.